So I thought I'd slow down for a minute and actually do this episode when I am sitting down. I know that, Magic in Motion, I wanted to reserve it to be more of a vlog style uh, channel. But for this episode, I want to do this episode sitting down. Okay. So I want to talk about putting fun back in your magic. All right. Putting fun back into your rituals, putting fun back into your spell work, that is a requirement, okay? It is necessary. You're able to have fun in your magic, all right? So, we know that there is a certain level of structure that is necessary when you are prepping for a working, a ritual, or a spell. And structure is found on some level, we're not talking about rigid structure here. We're talking about flexible structure, all right? That flexible structure can be found in your intention for the working, the tools or tool for the working, the time for the working, and the place for your working. Okay, so let's go back through each one separately. So your intention. I believe that the working begins as soon as you get the pull to do a working for whatever reason. I believe that the start of that working, because you put your energy into that already just with your thought, it's already begun. I also believe that a working begins with intention. There is a certain structure that comes with creating your intention. So, with your intention in your working, are you saying exactly what you want? Are you clear on the outcome and why you are doing the working in the first place? Are you clear on what's on the other side of that? Have you put thought into that? Or is this ritual or working, is it just a fly by the moment? There's no structure in fly by the moment, which is why intention in your working is part of having structure. Okay. The second thing is the tools or tool that you're going to have that are necessary for your working, that are necessary for you to get the results that you have intended. Okay. What accessories are you using? What tools are you using? For example, if you're using herbs, do you know the qualities of those herbs in a practical sense? Do you know what those herbs are used for? Do you know why you're using those herbs? Do you have the accessories that you desire to use? Or is there a replacement? For example, if you can't find, uh, a certain herb, is there a uh, quality replacement that you can use? All right. Do you know what that is? Is there a proper replacement for that herb that's going to yield the outcome that you desire? Is the replacement herb going to fulfill the same uh, what what word am I looking for? Is it going to fulfill the same thing as the original herb that you perhaps can't find for whatever reason? Also, time. Is there a particular moment of the day where you can see the results of your outcome? If can the results of your outcome come faster at a certain time of the day versus another time of the day? Okay. There has to be some type of structure with the time of your working. Okay. Also, place. Do you have a dedicated place that you're going to perform this work? Is the place clean? Has it been cleansed? Do you need to declutter the space? Do you need to find a new space? So, with intention, your tools, the time and place, there's a certain level of structure that you must have to make sure that the intention is set, to make sure that you have your tools, to make sure that your specific time that you have set aside that specific time to do that working, and you have a place dedicated for that working, a place where it is cut off from anything else. You know, it's a place where you're not just going to throw your keys or throw clothes on or throw your purse or it's no, it's dedicated for that specific working. So, when we think about structure in that sense, there is a certain level of structure that goes in your working. Okay. However, having that structure, having that plan does not mean that you can't have fun in the working, that you can't have fun in your spiritual practice. So, having a plan, having that certain level of structure does not mean that you can't be lighthearted in your working as well. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because sometimes I think that we forget that our working, our rituals that we do, it is integrated into our lives. It's integrated into who we are. Our spiritual work isn't separate from our daily life. Our spiritual life isn't separated from our physical life. The two collide, all right? And we forget that we get to infuse lightheartedness and fun into our magic, all right? So, how do you integrate fun in your spells, in your rituals, and your overall spiritual practice? Well, you have to remind yourself first why you've chosen to be intentional about your spiritual practice to begin with. Remind yourself why. Why do you have a spiritual practice? Remind yourself that your spiritual practice, you get to with your spiritual practice, you get to infuse your the things that you have a natural affinity toward, a natural desire for. So, for example, if you know that you love to write, you get to infuse your love of writing into your magic. If you have a love of dance, you get to use your dance as a part of your working. Okay. So, and I just got ahead of myself, but the second point is effective spiritual practice involves infusing aspects of yourself into your working. Another point that I want to make is if you have a favorite color, infuse your favorite color into your workings, into your spiritual practice. If you have a love of beauty and makeup, infuse that aspect of you into your magic, into your spiritual practice. Remember that spiritual practice involves autonomous creation, implementing creativity into the practice for yourself in ways that you cannot find in a video or in a book. For example, yes, we know that there are very good books on moon magic. I have one in particular. I wish I had it in front of me, but it's a beautiful book, very informational and very functional for magic. There are aspects that I bring, there's creativity that I have that I bring into that my practice of working with the moon that I'll never find in a book unless it's the one that I write. So always remember that. Always know is the last point that I want to make. Always know that your magic is always in motion. It's always growing and it's never stagnant. So that reminds you that you can have structure in your spiritual practice, and yet you can also bring in the fun aspect. When you know that, I'm going to repeat these points again. Remind yourself why you've chosen to be intentional about having a spiritual practice to begin with. Know that effective spiritual practice involves infusing aspects of yourself into your work. Number three, remember spiritual practice involves autonomous creation. What is autonomous creation? Implementing creativity into your practice for yourself in ways that you will never find in someone else's video, someone else's book, because it's yours. The last point is always know that your magic is in motion, which means it's always growing and it is never stagnant. So even with a strategy, even with a structure, that structure is going to expand as well. Okay. So I want to hear what your takeaways are from this video. And if you have not yet gotten into the tarot segment, fun with or flow with tarot segment, I invite you to do that now. We have gotten into, I think, 30 cards now in that segment. So I invite you to start with that playlist. Go through that playlist, and yeah, we're going to have fun in our magic because our magic is in motion. Our magic is our life. Our spirituality is our life. Okay. So until next time, stay magical.